goal number 5 at this Africa Cup of Nations. And so their hopes of making it through, they have to do it the hard way, coming from a goal down to ensure that they beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria in this game, and hope that Tanzania don't beat Tunisia for them to be able to make it through to the next stage of the competition. Of course, you know, Uganda will join their fellow East African neighbors, Kenya and Tanzania, to host the 36th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, talking about the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The Super Eagles going back all the way after being repelled by the Ugandans, and of course free kick conceded by Igor Ogbu, and Uganda will have that opportunity. Jersey number 10 for Uganda was brought down in the process. Mutiaba looking at the goal once again. Even an on-rushing Dennis Oyango could not this time around stop that goal from happening, especially with Thunder striking the second time, and it was a successful strike for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's good to see, Jude, the attackers are scoring goals at this Africa Cup of Nations, from Victor Osimhen to Paul Onuachu to Ademola Lookman. It's going according to plan, but also talk about the fact that we have considered 3 goals in 3 matches so far, and that's an average of 1 per game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is down to, not the defense entirely. We can say that's down to Eric Schell's, tactical, weakness in terms of reading the game and substitutions. We saw the balance that Frank Onyeka brought to the side against Tunisia. I had told you before that was the game I was looking forward to because of the way the Tunisians, the way they play. But when you have the likes of Frank Onyeka, who is combative, who's got the legs, not like Wilfred Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi can be that sheet, that cover. He can cover more grounds because of age and because of his legs. But you got Frank who can do that. But I think tactically, I've said this many times on the show, Kufre, that Eric Schell has a very poor reading of the game, and you see that from his substitutions. The players that he sends into the fray, and the ones he takes out. I think from that you can tell. So the reason why we've considered these goals is because we've not ended games, or we've not seen out games the way we started them. We started the game against Tanzania. The first half was different from the second half. The game against Tunisia, we could not maintain momentum, we could not keep up intensity, we could not keep up focus and concentration, and the same fight we had in for the first 75 minutes, and that was what happened. And you all know what a goal can do. A goal can just swing the spirit, swing momentum, and that was what happened in that particular game. So I think what he should do is know how to manage game with the kind of players that you send into the fray. What do you want to do? We're leading 3 goals already. You need players that can keep the ball and catch them on the break, because they are the ones who will come out looking for goals. So not giving them the play entirely, then giving them offering them that opportunity to get a fight and get back into the game. So I think it's all about our midfield, and also the defense. The defense need cover, and that's what we're feeling. I hope he does right as the game as the competition progresses.
All right, and of course all eyes will be on Eric Schell, and we'd like to see the substitutions he's going to effect. He was questioned a lot during the post-match conference after the game and after the win against Tunisia, and he at some point was defensive, saying that, you guys didn't even applaud my boys for making it happen for the first 75 minutes. The tactical awareness, tactical interpretation of his tactical instructions and all of that. But again, journalists will have to do their job and quiz you on something that is a recurring situation with the Super Eagles, especially at this Africa Cup of Nations. The final minute of that game against Tanzania, the final minute of the game against Tunisia, almost identical, and the Super Eagles conceded on those 2 occasions. So what do you expect them to do? So Jude,
Yeah.
very, very instructive.
Yeah, Kufa, we can also take it back. I think it's how we've seen Eric Chell set up. We can also take it back to the game against Gabon. We only played better in the first half of extra time. The second half, it was a game of two halves. The game against DR Congo, the same thing. So I think that is his game. I think we should have this consistency in our play. The best teams are 90 minutes teams. You know, they run for 90 minutes, they play. And that's why I said, as a coach, you need to know what you want to do in the next 15 minutes or remaining 20 minutes of the game, is to keep control, or you want to catch them on the break. Whichever, keep the ball retention ability. You need the player, send them in if you've got them. That's what you need to do, and not attack us on 5 minutes, then you give your opponent possession for them to start, pressuring you from all sides and start scoring.
All right, Dennis Oyango, the goalkeeper and captain for Uganda, had a bit of a physical challenge earlier, and it was attended continuous game between Tunisia and Tanzania. It's been a bit challenging for the Tunisians. No shot on target yet, no corner kick for the Tunisians against Tanzania. For the Tunisians, they just need a draw in the game against Tanzania to make it through to the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations. Throw into the Super Eagles. 35 minutes on the clock. Of course, a lot of starts in favor of the Super Eagles at this tournament. Created a lot of big chances before this game. 9 big chances created by the Super Eagles. 5 big chances missed by the Super Eagles at Morocco 2025. 4 yellow cards mean, just like Jude was saying earlier, if you decide to bench the goalkeeper, Shemia Ajayi, Ademola Lookman, so that they don't receive another yellow card and miss the round of 16 game, why didn't you just do it all round? Jude, there's also Victor Osimhen on that list, but he's leading the Super Eagles in this encounter. I would have thought that an Akwa Adams and Paul Onuachu would have started this game, but Eric Chell decided to go with Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, of course, we know the Victor, the yellow card he got was needless, right? Needless. And of course, he doesn't play in a position where, he gets yellow card often. So it's not much of a threat. We're not scared that he might pick up a yellow card, especially if he keeps his attitude in check. So it's not a bad decision to keep him in the game. For me, like I said, it's just that, for me, the midfield, I just felt that some players, should be in the midfield and not the ones that they currently have. But has that been justified to an extent? Well, let's see.
Moses Simon, one of the top performers for the Super Eagles so far in this encounter. We just saw him a while ago, twisting and turning, created space, time for himself to make a cross. Not entirely a good one, but Paul Onuachu was able to control well, wanting to find Victor Osimhen in the process, but I thought a better opportunity, a better option, Jude, would have been controlled turn and snap the ball straight at goal, and with that, anything can happen. I
completely agree with you, Kufre, and that's why we have the best. That's what the best strikers in the world will do. You can't have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo in that position and looking for a man to pass to, or even the likes of Kylian Mbappe. Of course, what they do is to turn and shoot because they're in front of goal, and that's why they're lethal. The likes of Erling Haaland as well. So when they're in that position, they know that the only thing that comes to mind is to score, and that's what I expected Paul Onuachu to do.
All right, sir. Might just see Dennis Oyango. This is the 3rd time he's been treated. We might just see him substituted by Paul Putz, who is the gaffer of the Cranes of Uganda. And we can see one of the 2 reserve goalkeepers, talking about Magula. He's been prepared to come on. Salim Magula, who does it for Richards Bay in the South African League, is being prepared to come on to replace Dennis Oyango, 40-year-old Dennis Oyango, who is the #1 choice. We'll see if that substitution is going to be done in a bit. Struggling to keep himself available for Uganda in this encounter. Play will continue. 3 times he's been checked medically. 3 times he's been passed to continue the action. And Jude hoping that that will not cost Uganda more goals before it's finally pulled out.
Sometimes I ask, this question: why are players allowed to play, especially when they know that it can continue? But
interchange of passes, good combination of passes by the Super Eagles. Dele Fisayo Bashiru, Ryan Alibio sent one in. That was well done, and a shot there by Moses Simon, blocked by that Ugandan yellow and black wall. The ball gets back to Ryan Alibio. Samuel Chukwueze will send another one in, nodded out. Well, Beta. Uganda wins possession finally. Here they come, 2 against 3. Calvin Bassey is there to truncate that. Referee gives a free kick to Uganda for that foul by Calvin Bassey. At the center circle, the middle of the pitch. And there's been a goal in the other game between Tunisia and Tanzania. Penalty awarded to Tunisia. That should be another penalty. We've had about 11 or so penalties awarded in this tournament. So another penalty awarded. Gabi slotting the ball in from 12 yards. Tanzania 0, Tunisia 1. While the Super Eagles lead Uganda by 1-0. Free kick for Uganda. Ryan Alebioshu clattering into a Uganda player. And so it's free kick. We have plenty of cranes surrounding the ball, wanting to be the one selected to hit that one, and one by one, that scene has been declustered. With just 2 left, the right footer and the left footer. Mutiaba alongside Omedi standing behind the ball, with Omedi looking like the man to take this one. It's a 4-man wall of the Super Eagles. Let's see if they can do their job. Or Francis Uzor might just be the one to do the job for the entire team. And of course, we can see Jude, an issue with the Ugandan player with Nigerian blood, Ikpeazu. Number 9 striker for Uganda, having a normal issue with a Super Eagles player, but the referee from Benin Republic, Louis Ginu, coming to douse the situation. Free kick to Uganda will be taken now as the referee gives his final. And yes, the wall does its job. A shot there over the bar. Well done by the 4-man wall of the Super Eagles. And the second hit by Bobosi couldn't do anything as the ball flew over the bar. 45 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes added time. Yes, that's how much you have as well to send in your prediction. Let us know what you think will be the final scoreline of this game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Cranes of Uganda. And if you send in a correct answer, definitely you get a prize from us at the end of the show, at the end of this coverage. Moses Simon. Nigeria still with possession of the ball. Calvin Bassey is down, and I'm sure that's not a serious one. He will get up. Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Alebioshu back to Dele Bashiru. Bashiru sends long one towards Ryan Alebioshu. Chested the ball down well. Finds Igor Ogbu. Calvin Bassey. Moses Simon. Back to Calvin Bassey. Bassi decides to go back to Francis Uzor. Pretty much the Super Eagles players managing the extra time that's been given for the rest of this game. 4 minutes. We've done 90 seconds. Samuel Chukwueze. Bassi. Bassi goes back once again to Francis Uzor. Igor Ogbu. Igor will send one in towards no one in particular. And so, Samakula chesting the ball down, finding his goalkeeper, sent a long one towards the business end. The final third for the Super Eagles. Throw in. To the Super Eagles. Third minute of added time. Bruno Yemechi with a throw in for the Super Eagles. Moses Simon gets past one. Still chasing the ball. Will he get there on time? No. Throw in for the Super Eagles in an attacking position. We still have about 1 minute more to play. All right. Throwing instead of going to the Super Eagles of Nigeria was awarded to Uganda. And this perhaps will be the final attack for the Ugandans in this half. But they've lost possession to the Super Eagles. Rafael Onyedika. Alebioshu plays the ball out of danger. Paul Onuachu, somehow, as gangling as he is, he's got some deft control of the ball. Bassi trying to find Chukwueze. He's brought down, and it's a free kick to the Super Eagles. Definitely the final situation of the game. And that should be the last attack as well. Kayongo, the left back defender for Tanzania, seems to be hard tackling defender. He's been involved in a couple of tackles against Nigerian players. The first we saw was against Ryan Alebioshu. Thankfully so, Ryan is well and has since continued with the game. So free kick to Nigeria. Final third of the attack. Samuel Chukwueze. Moses Simon. They've got two tall attackers and of course defenders. There, Moses Simon takes it. Nothing came out of that. Defended by the Ugandans, who will try to eat the Super Eagles on the counter. From the left side, the Super Eagles definitely will do justice to that one. And that should be it for the first half of this encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Cranes of Uganda, as the three-time African champions lead by 1-0 courtesy of Paul Onuachu, who scored the goal in the 28th minute. Jude, your assessments of the Super Eagles play in this first 45 minutes?
Well, I think it's a good way to finish the half, especially leading 1-0. Yes. After that, I think after the goal, I think we saw some, bright plays from the Super Eagles. Yeah, from the Uganda, I think, they've actually put themselves into the contest as well. But I'll just quickly talk about some of the players that I have seen and what they've done in this half. For me, I think Captain Bassey and Igor Ogbu, I think they've been really good in this first half defensively. They look coordinated and they look really organized. I love the fact that Igor shows this aggressiveness when we're out of possession and is trying to tackle a man. But Ryan Alebioshu, yeah, I can see some inexperience in his play as well, especially the last foul, not just the last foul. I think in the early minutes of the game, his position looked like the weak link before everything settled, and we saw some bright runs from him as well, giving width to the attack. Yeah, he's been fantastic, but I think he can't be a mainstay if you ask me. I think Osai Samuel can still occupy that place as the main right back defender for the Super Eagles. Bruno Yemechi, yes, he's been good as well, and for Rafael Onyedika, he's been fantastic in this game. Tidy, in his passes, he's kept it simple, he's kept it clean. I think he's been the best in midfield for me. Dele Bashiru has also been good. Samuel Chukwueze has been poor, in my opinion. Is not really been bright. He's been losing balls after and after, so it's not really had the best of first half for me. And for Polinachu, yeah, for him to open his account with a goal, yes, I think it's been good, and not just the fact that he scored. I've seen some.
Second 45 minutes will be more action coming through from the first sport complex in this final group game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and, of course, the Cranes of Uganda. And just to remind you that the other simultaneous game from this group happening is Tunisia leading Tanzania by 1-0. Looking like Tanzania and Uganda, two of the three co-hosts of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, might be going home quite early in this tournament. But again, let's see what happens in the second 45 minutes. We'll take a break right here on our live studio coverage of the Africa Cup of Nations. When we come back, we'll get you straight into the second 45 minutes. Of course, our Predict and Win channel has closed, and we will compute the results. So we will compile them rather, and of course, we'll see those still in the running to win our airtime right here. Stay with us right here on Champion 90.7 FM.
You are listening to Champion 90.7 FM. Ignite the fire within you.
My people, if you never chop Emily plantain chips, it means say you never taste better enjoyment. Whether na the ripe one, wey sweet like weekend, or the one wey never ripe, wey get that confirmed crunchy vibe. Emily plantain chips, they always burst brain with correct flavor. And no be only plantain, them get all kinds of chips wey go make your mouth ask for more. You dey run distribution, you dey find wholesale, or you want package better chips for your party or event. No worry, call Emily plantain chips, them ready for you. Just waka enter their shop for number 6 Muibat Street, Omole Phase 1, Ojodu Bega, Lagos State, or make you call them sharp for 0806 607 3626. Make I call them again, 0806 607 3626. Emily Plantain Chips, that chips with the Totori Bele.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Announcer, FSRCC.
ètò bàbá ètò pẹ̀lú atọ́kùn tó mòye àwọn òṣèré tíátà tí ò ṣe é fọwọ́rọ́ sẹ́yìn láwùjọ ròyìn kúkọ̀ yìí ní Champion FM 90.7 Wednesday láago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ lẹ́ ó máa gbádùn ètò yìí tó kún fún àgbékalẹ̀ ohun àjọsọ tí ò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn àlejò tó lóye lórí àti àkójọpọ̀ orin tó ní àlùjọ nínú rẹpẹtẹ. àpòpọ̀ ìfiránṣẹ́ orin àti ọ̀rọ̀ ìwúrí lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣoṣo èyí yàtọ̀ wọ́n náà darapọ̀ mọ́ atọ́kùn tó làṣà àti èdè ìdóyin kúkọ̀ yìí Wednesday láago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ kó o jẹ̀gbádùn ètò tó mú àyípadà bá ayé ẹni sí rere. tẹ̀lé wa lórí Instagram, TikTok pẹ̀lú _234 kí wọn náà ó sì máa fi ẹ̀bùn lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan ṣèfàjẹ́. Champion FM 90.7 lẹ́yìn tí máa gbádùn ètò yìí. Production of First Rated Media àti PR Limited ló ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò yìí pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn ilé oúnjẹ ìgbàlódé Àmàlà Èkó Restaurant láti Nairobi, Kenya àti Ìkẹjà, Èkó, Nàìjíríà.
Oh, what a ball! What a delivery!
Confirmment to buzzer! He don't land, oh. I say better don't land. First 11 football show. He don't land on top champion 90.7 FM, oh. My people, una sabi say football not the finish, oh. Match they always there to play. Now he make us carry this football show. Can't give una for the language where we Niger people they like. So join the original Quest Master Omodia every Mondays to Fridays, 6:45 to 7 a.m. on top champion 90.7 FM. First 11 football show. Any club where do any go see any. No miss out.
What's up, Lagos? Are you ready to rise up and seize the day? It's time for the breakfast show like no other. Rise Up Lagos on Champion 90.7 FM. Come closer, join the coolest, the baddest morning show on radio every Monday to Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. as we kickstart your mornings with the freshest news, engaging conversations, and the grooviest tunes. Get the headlines that matter, the latest in sports, and move to the rhythm of the hottest music bits alongside critical insights into current affairs that keep you informed and aware of what's happening around you. Take your seats as we get personal with industry professionals and celebrities sharing their stories and wins. Don't miss out on exciting giveaways every week. So set your alarms and let's start your day informed, inspired, and energized. Tune in to Rise Up Lagos on Champion 90.7 FM, weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. because every great day starts with a great morning.
The time is 6 o'clock. How well do you know the beautiful game? Get your game face on because it's time to play Football Brain Challenge, an exciting football quiz show. Weekdays on Champion 90.7 FM, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Join us for trivias, fun, wins, and great prizes. Test your knowledge. Kick off your lunch with a quiz you can't miss. Football Brain Challenge. Tune in.
Join Pastor Daniel Ezioke from Christ Miracle Church Mission, Ikeja GRA, Lagos, for a life-changing power-packed program titled Hour of Reconciliation. It's a moment of divine encounter, happening live on Champions FM 90.7 every Saturday from 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Don't miss this weekly spiritual experience. Come and receive prayer, restoration, healing, and the undiluted Word of God. Hour of Reconciliation, where destinies are revived and lives are transformed. God bless you as you connect.
Discover and enjoy music that touches the soul and moves the body on Champion 90.7 FM.
right, thank you for still staying with us. We're still continuing our broadcast of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations from our live studio here on Champion 90.7 FM. My name is Kufre Ekpe, and I've got Jude Achilles with me as well. It's still halftime in the game. The games in Group C of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations being played simultaneously. We have Tanzania trailing by 1-0 to Tunisia. And of course, Uganda trailing as well, 1-0 to Nigeria. But our focus is on the game between the Super Eagles and the Cranes. Jude, the first 45 minutes, we saw the drastic makeover or the drastic changes that coach Eric Chell made to the team that won against Tunisia. We saw about 2 changes in the squad that played Tunisia from the squad that took on Tanzania in the very first game of this Africa Cup of Nations from the point of view of the Super Eagles. And then in this game against Uganda, only 3 players who started that game against Tunisia, Victor Osimhen, Bruno Yemechi, and Calvin Bassey started the other 8 first time playing, starting at this Africa Cup of Nations. Not really, but majority of the players that have started today are playing for the very first time at this Africa Cup of Nations, from Raphael Onyedika to Francis Uzor to Ryan Alebio to Igor Ogbu, Paul Onacho and the rest. But Jude, the Super Eagles lead by 1-0. The players are on the turf, ready to go. I don't think we've seen any halftime substitution in this game between the Super Eagles and the Cranes of Uganda. But how long do we need to play this game? Some say that the substitutions in that game against Tunisia came early. How long do we wait before we see Eric Chell make his first substitution or his first set of substitutions in this game against Uganda? I mean, we said before the competition started that it would be good for the Super Eagles to be able to get their round of 16 tickets at the end of the second group game, so as to allow other players, to start minutes in this Africa Cup of Nations, and that's what has panned out. But as far as you're concerned, you're not happy that there was a wholesome change in the starting lineup against Uganda.
Yes, Kufri, like I said, it's all about momentum, right? It's about momentum. When you look at the first 2 games that they've played, they've not really had, total control. If we've seen a team that have had, that have had total control, then we'll be talking about, having that heavy rotation, right? But they've not had that. We saw the game against Tanzania, the same thing we said about Tunisia. The first half, they played really well, but in the second half, they looked more like a different team. So the same thing against Tunisia as well. So they've not
thinking that we were quite solid defensively in the first half, and that's why he's making this sub. But again, before you answer, let's bring on this stats. Let's bring on the stats for the 2 centre backs that paired in the heart of the defense for the Super Eagles. Before the end of that, Calvin Bassey had 43 touches and 37 were successful. Igor Ogbu had 41 touches, 36 were successful.
Talk of it, you can see. Well, I know that Calvin Bassey has been yellow carded in this game in the first half, but it's not enough for you to make changes, at these early hours, especially when the team just returned from the dressing room. So you see, I've always said this: it's about each substitution. It's not just about sending a player in.
Don't you think that he's just trying to? Doesn't want to risk the fact that anything can happen in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the second half. Calvin Bassey gets a yellow card and he's red carded, is suspended for the next game. The
thing is this, you were just entering. So I think you need some level of stability in the game before you make certain changes. You have to read the game. That's why you have to read. That's why you're there as the coach to read the game.
What if his first tackle of the second half, Jude?
We're talking about Calvin Bassey.
Yes.
And even the yellow card for me, I felt that was a bit harsh in my opinion. He's experienced, and of course he knows that he's on yellow card, and that's why you have the likes of Raphael Onyedika there, who is cheating in the defense, and we've seen how that has also helped them in terms of organization as well. So I think it's quite early in decision making, especially Eric Chell. So far, that's what we've seen in this competition. It's substitutions most time, I think, is just making substitutions and not for the right reason. It's just my opinion.
All right, and so just so you know, first substitution in this encounter, the Super Eagles affecting that. Calvin Bassey subbed off, having been yellow carded in the first half, replaced by Chidozie Awazim. Let's take you to the other game, Jude. Very early in the second half, we've seen an equalizer from Tanzania. The Taifa Stars have equalized, and yes, they are back to 2 points now. It's 1-1 between Tanzania and Tunisia. Tunisia from 6 points, having scored and led against Tanzania, back to 4 points. The way they started that game, and Tunisia as well, Tanzania as well, are back to how they started that game. If Tanzania win this game, if they win this game, Jude, they will have 4 points. Tunisia will have 3 points. So the Tanzania now have been able to put themselves in a position where they can go for all 3 points against Tunisia.
Yeah, of course, the game is 1-1 at the moment. And, for Tanzania, of course, there's still hope for them to qualify if they should beat Tunisia. As it stands, good way to come back in this particular one. Tunisia led in the first half, and, an early equalizer, of course, it puts them back in the game and also gives them an advantage that, yes, they can go for it, and, of course, they have a chance to progress.
All right, so let's get back to the action in front of us. The Super Eagles still leading the Cranes of Uganda by 1-0. So far, it's looking like they will nick a third win in 3 matches at this Africa Cup of Nations. Alongside Algeria, they are the team with 100% win record at this Africa Cup of Nations. Jude, we've also seen substitution, halftime substitution for Uganda. Finally, Dennis Oyango has been subbed off, and as captain, he's relinquished that position as captain, as well as the man in between the sticks for Tanzania to the man who has replaced him. And we are talking about one of the other 2 reserve goalkeepers. We're talking about Magula. As a matter of fact, 3 halftime substitutions by Uganda. Okelo, Mukwala, as well as Magula have all come in to replace Omedi, Mutiaba, and Oyango, while the Super Eagles only affected 1. Calvin Bassey pulled out, and Awazim Chidozie coming in to replace the Fulham FC player. All right, Jude, that should have been the second goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What was Chidozie Awazim doing there?
Well, I don't know. That was a close one, but I think it was sport control for him. The ball bounced, so we can give him that as an excuse. The ball bounced, but I think he could have done better there, and that would have been 2 goals for Nigeria, of course, giving them the advantage, of course, to be clear of the Ugandans.
All right, Samuel Chukwueze releasing Victor Osimhen, but that was a very fast one. Even cutting back, he couldn't control himself, losing possession to Uganda, but the Super Eagles still have possession of the ball. Rafael Onyedika plays back, finding Igor Ogbu, who has not really done badly in this encounter. Paul Onuachu comes deep, connects with his player, Moses Simon. Samuel Chukwueze, Fisayo Dele-Bashiru sent one in to who in particular, and a shot there, blocked. A second opportunity. Side netting by Bruno Yemechi. Well done for the Super Eagles, or to the Super Eagles. Good play and good interchange of passes. But again, kudos should be given to Paul Onuachu, Jude, who decided to shift play from the right, so to the left of the attack to the right. And that's that latest chance for the Super Eagles as it comes hard to pick that one. And the Eagles almost hit the Ugandans as it comes hard to pick that one. And the Eagles almost hit the Ugandans on the counter, but that was thwarted. On the counter, but that was thwarted. Just a matter of time before the second goal comes in, whether it's going to be goal number 2 for the Super Eagles or goal number 3 in this tournament for Uganda. It's left 3 in this tournament for Uganda. It's left to be seen. Samuel Chukwueze is released to be seen. Samuel Chukwueze is released on the right side of Super Eagles attack. On the right side of Super Eagles attack. Onyedika. Find Dele-Bashiru. Back to Chukwueze. Bashiru. Back to Chukwueze. Tries to release. Ryan Alebioshu. But that one was blocked. But that one was blocked by Kayondo. of Uganda concede a throw-in. The Blackburn Rovers defender, 24-year-old Ryan Alebioshu will take this one, quickly takes it. Ryan Alebioshu will take this one, quickly takes it towards Samuel Chukwueze. This one in, that was hit too much, but still in possession of the Super Eagles. Samuel Chukwueze picks it, sends one in. Still in possession of the Super Eagles. Samuel Chukwueze picks it, sends one in. Nodded out by the Tanzanians. Dele Bashiru. Another cross by the Tanzanians. Dele Bashiru. Another cross comes in and straight to Magula. Frustrated figure caught there by coach Eric Chell. The crosses have to come in. They have to come in precise. Perhaps the likes of Bruno Yemechi, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze will have to learn from that beautiful assist from Ademola Lookman for the Super Eagles' first goal against Tunisia, converted by Victor Osimhen. That was a sweet, precise in-swinger from the Atalanta man. And quickly, Victor Osimhen is released, tries to, of course, get the ball across the incoming Salim Magula, who comes outside of the 18-yard box and uses his hand to stop that looping ball shot from, or looping volley from Victor Osimhen. And he's not done up to 11 minutes or 12 or a dozen of minutes, and he's been shown the red card by the Beninois referee, Gino Luis. And we can see the original captain, the main captain of the side, Dennis Oyango, with 2 hands on his head. Red card to Uganda. That was a good pass there towards Victor Osimhen, Nigeria. And Jude, what that means is that Paul Poot, the Belgian coach of Uganda, will have to sacrifice an outfield player for the third goalkeeper, the third and the last goalkeeper on the bench for Uganda, who is getting himself ready to, if he was on the pitch. But unfortunately, the Super Eagles failed to take advantage of that. And so the game has been restarted by Alionzi. But Super Eagles get possession of the ball back. They have the goal advantage. They have the numerical advantage. And so let's see in the remaining 30 minutes what they do with that. Dele Bashiru, the supposed creative midfielder in this encounter for the Super Eagles, taking the role of Alex Iwobi. Raphael Onyedika will send a long one, decides to play with Igor Ogbu, who is now playing from the left of the central defense, vacated by Calvin Bassi due to that substitution. Throw into the Super Eagles. Well done by Ryan Alebioshu. Throw in quickly, taking Samuel Chukwueze. Dele Bashiru shoots, and it's a goal from Raphael Onyedika. From nowhere, from the midfield, after dispensing of that pass earlier, quickly found himself where he connected.
His father, but this is not a promise you have to play for you to fulfill your promise. And he has done that, but not to the level expected to score a goal. And so far, so good. I think they've done well, to shield him and to neuter every threat that he's got to offer in this game.
Uche Ikpeazu does it for St. Johnstone's in the Scottish Football League. And so far, he's not had a goal in this game, but he has scored so far in this tournament, scored the goal for Uganda when they played 1-1 against Tanzania. And so, looking to make it number 2.